On February 5th, in the year 62, the ground under Pompeii tore itself open. For the next 17 years, the city had every warning it needed, and its answer, again and again, was to build bigger. Buildings folded that day. Temples cracked down the middle. Statues fell over. People ran outside in fear. And in some houses, whole walls came down in one piece. But once the dust settled, Pompeii didn't pull back. It built bigger paths, taller walls, new glass windows no one in the city had ever needed before. Money poured into new stone, new paint, new marble floors. The people who lived there had just watched their city break apart in seconds, and they spent the next 17 years proving to themselves it couldn't happen again. Somewhere, under all that new stone, the mountain behind them was still waiting. Picture Pompeii in the year 62. It sits on the coast of Italy, in a region called Campania. It is a busy port town, full of shops, temples, and rising families with new money. About 20,000 people live here. Life is good. Trade ships come and go every day. Wine and olive oil move through the streets in carts. Bakers open early. Markets fill with noise by mid-morning. The earthquake in February is bad, very bad. Roofs cave in. The public paths crack apart. Part of a wall near the Forum, the city's main square, comes down completely. Statues fall over. Water pipes burst under the streets. Some people die, many more are hurt. For weeks, the town smells like dust and broken plaster. Here is what the people of Pompeii do not know and could not have known. They have no word for volcano. No one alive has ever seen this mountain erupt. Not their parents, not their grandparents. To them, Vesuvius is just a hill, green, covered in vineyards, a place where farmers grow grapes, not a place anyone fears. So when the ground shakes, the people of Pompeii do what any sensible person would do today. After a bad storm, after a flood, they clean up, they rebuild, and they do not just rebuild the same buildings, they build better ones. New paths open with glass windows and heated walls, things the town never had before. One family, once enslaved and now rich from trade, pays to rebuild an entire temple. They carve their own name into the stone. Rebuilding, it turns out, is also a way to buy respect. This is not foolish. This is what confidence looks like after you survive something terrible. The city survived. The buildings are stronger now. Property is worth more, not less. If you had new money in Pompeii in the year 65, rebuilding was the obvious choice. It was sensible. It bought you status. Everyone around you was making the same choice too. But small tremors kept coming after that, year after year. Little shakes, dishes rattling on shelves, a crack appearing in a wall someone had just repaired. Easy to explain away, easy to ignore, especially once you have already survived the big one, and no one connected them to anything happening deep underground beneath that quiet green mountain. By the year 79, something strange in Pompeii is still not finished. Right after the earthquake in 62, a Roman writer named Seneca wrote about it. He described animals in a panic, marble cracking, and people running through the streets in terror. No one was sure which direction was even safe. But even Seneca, a sharp thinker who studied nature, wrote about the earthquake as one bad event, a thing that had already happened, already survived, already behind them, not a warning about something far bigger, still quietly building underneath the ground they stood on. So the rebuilding began. but the people doing it were changing. Many of Pompeii's oldest, most noble families packed up. They left for safer, quieter homes elsewhere along the coast. In their place came more families like the ones that rebuilt the temple, newer money, no ancient name to lean on, eager to prove themselves through stone and marble. It was these rising families, not the old aristocracy, who carried most of the rebuilding forward. And even their ambition could not move fast enough. Rebuilding a whole city takes more than good intentions. It takes time, skilled workers, and steady cash. Pompeii, it turns out, was quietly running short on all three, even as its shops stayed open and its streets stayed busy. The historian Mary Beard has studied exactly how slow that rebuild really was. Her book, The Fires of Vesuvius, walks through the whole rebuild, room by room, and I've left a link for the free audiobook in the description. Her book shows something surprising. By the year 79, that is 17 years after the earthquake, only one public building in the Forum had been fully repaired. Just one. Most of the city's grandest buildings were still half done, still covered in scaffolding, still waiting. You can still see proof of this today. Walk into Pompeii's Forum and one wall stands half repaired. Fresh plaster on the bottom, bare stone on top. Whoever was fixing that wall never came back to finish the job. Tools were found nearby, left where the workers set them down. It looks, even now, like the work simply stopped one ordinary day. Then, on August 24th, in the year 79, Mount Vesuvius exploded. It sent a column of ash and burning rock 10 miles into the sky above the bay. Pompeii was still mid-repair. It was still trusting its new walls and its new paths. There was nowhere near enough time to understand what was happening, let alone escape it. Here is the strange part. The people of Pompeii were not foolish, and they were not careless. They were doing something humans do everywhere, all the time, without even noticing. Scientists have a name for it: optimism bias. In 1980, a researcher named Neil Weinstein ran a study on danger. He asked people a simple question: compare your own chances of something bad happening to the chances for everyone else around you. Getting sick, losing a job, having an accident. Over and over, people gave the same answer, no matter the danger. That probably won't happen to me. Not because they had real proof, just because it felt true deep down, without them even thinking about it. Years later, Weinstein found something even sharper and even stranger. People feel most safe about the exact dangers they have already lived through once. If something bad already happened and you survived it, your mind decides the danger is now smaller, not bigger, smaller, even though nothing about the real risk has actually changed. That is exactly what happened in Pompeii. The earthquake did not scare people away from the mountain. In a strange twist, it made the mountain feel understood, survived, handled like a problem already solved and filed away. The very event that should have been a warning became the reason people felt safe. Safe enough to build bigger, spend more, and stay right where they were year after year. The danger never hid from Pompeii. It stood in plain sight for 17 years, quietly wearing the shape of good news. The ground under Pompeii tore itself open on February 5th in the year 62. Buildings folded. Statues broke into pieces on the street. Back then, that felt like the worst day the city would ever see. So Pompeii rebuilt. Bigger paths, taller walls, glass windows no one had needed before. Every new building said the same thing without a single word: we survived this. We are safe now. However, the mountain was not fooled. It had been waiting for exactly that feeling and these words.